Alright, picture this. You roll out of bed at 8:57 a.m., throw on a hoodie, make a quick coffee, and by 9 a.m., you're already at work. No traffic. No dress code. No awkward elevator small talk. Sounds like a dream, right? But what if I told you that, for many, working remotely isn't all it's cracked up to be? That behind the pajamas and flexible schedules, there's isolation, burnout, and a sneaky sense of disconnection. Well, today we're diving into the brutally honest truth. Is working remotely actually better? Or is it just another illusion we bought into? Let's find out what the internet really thinks. Remote work exploded during the pandemic, and for a while, it felt like a revolution. Studies show that by 2021, nearly 60% of US employees were working from home at least part-time. Companies saved money. Employees gained time. Productivity, surprisingly, often went up. But now that we've had a few years of remote work, cracks are beginning to show. Some people are thriving in their home offices. Others are desperately craving structure, human contact, and that long-lost line between work and life. So what's the verdict? Let's hear it straight from the people living it. Now let's see what people are saying on the internet, starting with Reddit on subreddits like work, career guidance, remote work, and others. One user wrote, "In addition to what others have already mentioned, I've been struggling with communication in my remote job. Back when I worked in an office, if something came up, I could just walk over to someone's cubicle and talk it through. Issues were usually resolved quickly. We could physically show each other what the problem was, explain it in real time, and figure out a solution together. Now that I'm working remotely, I often have to wait hours, sometimes even days, for a response. Sure, if it's urgent, I'll usually hear back quickly. But even my non-urgent questions still matter, and they'd be so much easier to resolve in person. There are also more communication gaps. Misunderstandings take longer to clear up. Some people just aren't great at explaining things through text, or the issue is hard to describe without a visual or live conversation. Of course, there are benefits too. Having written messages means I can go back and review explanations or solutions later, and I can prioritize what to respond to without getting pulled into unrelated conversations. Still, it's been getting on my nerves lately." Another one added, "I'm not going to pretend I've never started a load of laundry or loaded the dishwasher while working from home. After all, in an 8-hour shift, you're entitled to 2 breaks plus a lunch. But if you're constantly doing chores, and especially if you're leaving the house to go shopping, then you're not really working. It's going to show in your output. As for the downsides, it really depends on the person. Some people get most of their social interaction at work, and for them, working from home can feel very isolating. Others, like my wife, start to get stir-crazy after just a couple of days stuck at home. In spring and summer, it's not too hard to get out of the house after work and do something. But in fall and winter, when it's already dark by the time you're done for the day and it's cold outside, going out isn't as easy or appealing. Working from home can also lead to some unhealthy habits. Sleeping in until 5 minutes before your shift starts, skipping showers, not going to the gym, especially if you used to go on your commute home. In some companies, working remotely basically guarantees you won't get promoted. That's not true everywhere. If the whole company is remote, it's a different story, but in many hybrid setups, in-office employees are promoted more often. And finally, some people struggle to draw a line between work and personal time when they're at home. That often leads to them working way more than they should." Another one added, "I think there are some cons. Here are some that I have come across. Related to work community. Silent information is lost. A sense of community is harder to achieve. Bonding with coworkers is harder. When you are in the same place, you can show funny memes, talk about things that your kid did, go to after-work events. You can also vent about your work as it happens to all at the same time. You can easily tell some little things to a coworker about the job. You can get ideas and input for the work outside of your team more easily. Related to work-life balance. Work is always in your home. A separate office space helps, if you have the room. Otherwise, some sort of cabinet with doors where you can hide the work can be an option. Starting and ending workdays can be difficult. Either you cannot get into work mode, or you cannot get off from work. A routine for both can help with this, like a small walk or a particular chore to do after the workday. Other people, family and friends, can think that you are not working. If some days you have extra time to do stuff with them, they might have a hard time understanding that most of the days you are working and cannot go out for coffee or do chores. Related to social. You might feel lonely without the presence of coworkers. Or if some of them are in the office, you might be left out of their inside jokes. Related to work. Teamwork might be harder if the work is not highly independent. Information can be lost. Leading the work can be difficult. So, you might have a bad leader, or your on-site leadership skills don't relate to remote work. Getting help with issues might be more difficult or harder even to ask, as you cannot just ask, but have to write a message or have a call. Most of this can be avoided by having clear communication channels and plans. In teamwork, short 15-minute daily meetings to align on what everyone is working on can help. Another one shared their positive side of things. This exactly? At home, I can get my work done efficiently. At work, my coworkers feel the need to stop in and tell me about their weekends, try to spread office gossip, talk about annoying customers not realizing how annoying they, themselves, are being. At home, I can use the restroom as needed. At work, I have to wait in line for the restroom. At home, I can make food and eat it. At work, I have to clean the spills and splatters out of the microwave before I would even want to use it. At home, I can complete a task before moving on to the next one, reading emails in between. At work, I am interrupted and have to recall what I was doing when the interruption took place, which can be 30+ minutes between the start and end of the interruption. At home, my papers are where I leave them. At work, space is somewhat shared and people will riffle through papers trying to find what they need instead of asking and will leave my organized papers a mess or distort the filing by not putting things back where they were supposed to go. Surprise, surprise, what they need was in their email, not in any of the printed files. Another one added. I've been working from home for the past 8+ years. I've never been happier or more productive. Because of the industry, my office is loud. People are constantly in and out, and phones and cell phones are ringing. It never stops. Plus, to take a long call and/or Teams meeting, you must go find another location, as it's just too loud. At home, I have my own office, desk, and printer, with minimal interruptions. I can sit at my desk and take calls in team meetings. If it gets too quiet, I put on some music. My many animals sleep in their beds in my office. Sometimes my old guy snores a bit. Every few hours, I come downstairs for a snack, drink, coffee, or hot tea. Mid-afternoon, I walk to the end of my driveway to get the mail. Sometimes I walk outside into the yard and accompany the dogs on yard breaks. I also throw in a load of laundry before work and switch it when I come downstairs for lunch. My work gets done. Plus, I have time to think about things and brainstorm without all the noise. Most of my coworkers agree working in the office is almost twice as hard because of the noise levels. My customers are all over the world. My coworkers are the only ones who would see me in the office. My customers never see me except on Teams. All work is computer-based, and it is very clear if I've done my job. Dozens of folks rely on me doing my job. If it's not done, more than one person will be calling my boss. Working from home is easier on my customers too. There is way less background noise, and I can stay on calls since my office is mine every day, all hours. I no longer have to leave a conference room because someone else needs it. Working from home is easier on me and easier on the office, and I can't imagine going back into an office full-time. The only thing I miss, shopping clothes. I haven't purchased much professional clothing in the last 8+ years. Sometimes I'll add a new top, but pants are sweatpants. Only one person on my larger team makes me question their work ethic. That one guy is shady, and it's been addressed. Our team is incredibly hardworking, and he sticks out for his work ethic. I doubt he stays much longer. He works harder at looking busy than just doing the work. In my career, working from home enables me to do a better job. Quora users echoed similar mixed feelings. First of all, you don't have to commute to work, which means no more traffic jams. You'll have more free time for yourself. Also, you'll be stressed at work. Not to mention you'll save up money as well. Secondly, you don't have to wait for your vacation so you could travel somewhere. All you need for your work is great Wi-Fi and your laptop. So make sure to pack your laptop with chargers and pick a hotel with great Wi-Fi, and you're set to go. Thirdly, you don't have a strict schedule, which means you can pursue your hobbies. What's more, you can sleep in on Mondays. If you have kids, remote work is the perfect type of job for you. You won't miss out on a lot of things in their lives because you had to be at the office. You'll make it to more of your kids' plays than other parents for sure. And working from home equals doing work you get paid for while spending time with the kids. All in all, remote work definitely improves your life. Another user shared, "I'm more productive now than I ever was in an office. No meetings just for show. No fake urgency." Another responded, "My work anxiety got worse. I don't know what's expected of me anymore, and I feel like I'm constantly on." That's a big one, the loss of boundaries. When home becomes work, people often report working more hours, not less. The lines blur, and burnout creeps in without warning. And for extroverts? The lack of daily human interaction can be mentally draining. Not all remote work experiences are created equal. Some live alone in cramped apartments. Others have home offices with big windows, ergonomic chairs, and walking desks. Some work in global teams, meaning meetings at 11 p.m. Others set their own hours entirely. Location, job type, and personal life all play a massive role in whether remote work feels better or not. A 2023 Gallup poll found that 53% of remote-capable employees in the US still prefer hybrid work, not full-time remote. Why? 60% said they missed informal social interactions. 52% felt collaboration suffered. But 71% said flexibility was still the biggest benefit. On TikTok, the hashtag remote work problems reveals burnout stories, loneliness, and Zoom fatigue memes. But there's also a thriving culture of people romanticizing remote work, from Bali beach offices to van life. It's a love or hate relationship. So, is working remotely actually better? Well, it depends who you ask. For some, it's the future of freedom, autonomy, and balance. For others, it's an isolating grind that makes them feel like they're always on but never really seen. One Redditor summed it up best. "Working from home isn't better or worse, it's just different. And it's not for everyone." So now the question flips to you. Would you rather work from home forever? Or go back to the office? Let us know in the comments. And if you found this video interesting, hit like, subscribe, and share it with someone still working in their pajamas. Until next time, stay curious.